Good morning, everyone, and welcome to week 2. This week, we're going to be looking at participatory active learning, which can be done in a face-to-face environment, in a hybrid environment, or if you are in a completely online environment. So to prepare for this week's class, your homework was to read the PAL white paper. It's located in last week's module and in this week's module. You listened to the Shram Vodcast, which is linked here and in last week's module. And then you created a document in Google Drive to keep all of your course notes in. And remember, if you were struggling with how to set up that document, I recorded and posted a video last week. So be sure to review that. Again, what we want you to know, understand, and do by the end of this week's module. You have a few things that you're going to be working on. Had we been in a face-to-face classroom, you would have done tabletop blogging, which is when I put big poster board papers on different tables and you go around and write ideas on each one. Since you don't have a face-to-face class meeting, you are on IdeaFlip. And this is very similar to blogging on a piece of paper. You've got arrows that can connect ideas. You can post your ideas on any color sticky note. You can add links, whatever you'd like. So this week's agenda, you are going to start, and you can see the number of things you need to do. It's all numbered here. You're going to start by thinking about how you could use Flipgrid in your own classroom. We used it last week to start to establish classroom community, which is hard to do in an online environment. You have to be very intentional about it as an educator. So you recorded short couple-minute video clips. We all watched one another's, and we completed our scavenger hunt, which made it a little bit more fun. And we'll continue to use things like videos as we progress through the course. You're also going to synthesize your PAL and Shram resources, so the white paper that you read and the vodcast that you listened to. What did you find interesting? What connections did you make to other readings and other courses? What questions do you have? And that is where you'll do the tabletop blog, and we're using IdeaFlip here. Padlet's similar, Lino is similar. We will use both of those in the course as well. Read through everybody else's posts, kind of think through, see what people are writing, and then you're going to go to our discussion board in Blackboard. And you'll synthesize what you've seen on IdeaFlip. What trends are you noticing? What does that mean for us as learners? So if you notice that 3 or so people are struggling with the concept of noise, as a learner, that means you need more information on the concept of noise. So what do you notice? So we want all posts to IdeaFlip done by Wednesday so that people have a chance to read through and post to the discussion board by Friday. I'd like for you to review the profile of a South Carolina graduate, and it's linked right here. This is a very important document in the state of South Carolina. It's typically on in every classroom, on every classroom board, and it tells what we want our students to know by the time they graduate high school in South Carolina. So we want rigorous standards in language arts and math. We want our students to know multiple languages. We want them to be proficient in science and technology. These are some of our career characteristics that we want down here at the bottom. Integrity, self-direction, global perspective, perseverance. We want everyone to have a strong work ethic and interpersonal skills. And then here on the right-hand side, you see the world-class skills that we want our students to have. We want them to be creative, critical thinkers. We want them to be able to work together, to communicate, to know how to learn. Now, guys, this was established 5-6 years ago. And boy, if you look at some of these characteristics and skills that we want our students to have when they graduate high school, how much more important is it now in this time of a global pandemic that our students can collaborate, that they can be creative and think of solutions that might be outside of the box, much like our teachers are having to do in the spring and this fall. So review that. What do you think we do well in South Carolina schools, and what do you think we could do better? For example, I think that multiple languages, we are not proficient with that in South Carolina. I think we could do a lot more to teach our students different languages, especially Spanish. And there are a couple of immersion schools here in Rock Hill that do start teaching children other languages beginning in kindergarten, which is fabulous. All right, and then the fun project for this week is the photo activity. You have been given an assigned concept. If you don't see your name in the chart, please let me know and I will fix that. You are going to take one of the concepts wherever your name is, and you're going to do some sort of photograph editing activity. It's going to be really fun. You can use PhotoFlexer or BeFunky or any other digital editing program that you're familiar with. The program itself doesn't matter. It's what we're doing with the content. This gives you some examples of what an edited image might look like. So this is where you take a photograph and maybe use text or use the features like blurring to where you can focus on a particular piece of the image. So for this example, it says we shape our tools and then our tools shape us. And this is alluding to the fact that this person, rather than living in the moment and enjoying the concert, that person is filming it. Now I always think of fireworks. If you've ever been to a fireworks show and you see people filming it rather than paying attention, it never looks as good as when you're there in the moment. So when I see this image, I think of how we should kind of slow down and live in the moment and not worry so much about our phones. So that's just what an edited image might look like. So for Schramm's concept of signal and noise, we know that if a student is hungry, they are probably not focusing on what you're saying. And so you might show that by maybe put your head down or grabbing your stomach, or maybe you're like looking off in the distance so somebody takes a picture of you and you edit the photo to have like a thought bubble and put food in it. So whatever you want to do to illustrate the concept that you're assigned, use that digital photo editing activity. It'll be fun. And if you can get that done by Friday at 11:59. And there are models in each. You just click here to get to your presentation, and there are some models in each presentation. So you'll have some to look at before you get started. To prepare for next week, you'll need to read chapters 1 and 2 in your UDL textbook. I reminded you last week to get that book if you have not already done so. So be sure next week we hit the ground running with the textbook. So make sure that you have a copy of it before then. Let me know if you have any questions. I am here to answer them. I hope you are well, and I will talk to you soon.